Hi everyone, Soulstar17 here. Let me first, like usual, I do not own the pictures. I made the thumbnail, and, well, this is a non-paid video. Wait, just a quick second, I just looked at my phone, I got a text message. Hold on. Alright, sorry. Anyways. So, in this video, it's gonna be, well, sort of, how can I say this, different. You see, how this all starts out in this video is that Aizawa and Inko, well, basically did something and they were both drunk, so 9 months later, Deku's born. Yeah, Aizawa doesn't even know about his existence. And, well, everything goes on like in canon, but the one point is that, well, how can I say this? The one point is when Deku tries to save Bakugo, we're gonna have like the media just say everything he tried to do was useless and all that, ridicule him. Even All Might tells him that, sort of. Basically, he does commend Izuku for his bravery, but what he did was he could have died. But he does tell him he does have a making of a true hero, and it may, well, he may be able to get into basically UA if he trains hard enough. But because of all the, well, media and stuff, Deku's kind of like mindset changed. But this is not, I just want to say that like explanation, but this is not where our story begins. Our story begins, well, in the Marvel Universe. Basically, many years, everything's nearly destroyed and gone. You see, Venom has been trying to keep Eddie alive. You know, his brain has been going. Well, basically, this is God Venom, so Venom basically has been trying to keep Eddie alive and all. And Eddie's mind's been going by him losing memories. Then basically Venom keeps on healing his brain and such, adding the memories back or alternate the memories to basically show that Venom's always there, at least to have someone nearby. But before the world or the universe finally is about to collapse, Eddie's gone, and Venom just says, well, since the universe is about to collapse on itself, I might as well just restart everything anew. And so Venom just, right when it does, he resets everything. So, when he does do that, there's kind of a key difference here. The thing is, the My Hero Academia world is the Marvel, the Marvel world. Basically the Marvel universe, but changed to be My Hero Academia. Many of the threats that would harm Earth or basically destroy it, like Galactus, the Phoenix Force, the Infinity Stones, the Infinity Gauntlet, basically, all those life dangerous situations are gone. They've been gone for the longest time. And, well, it took Venom a long time to get to, to Earth. Basically, Venom arrived right around the time of Izuku was around. So around 14 years old. Well, 13, 14. Yes, our story does take place around this time, and I know I didn't say let's get into this what if. But, I mean, it does go in, and I'm explaining it, but also telling the story. So, yeah, I forgot to say, so let's get into the video. But anyways. I mean, I need to stop saying that. But, moving forward. Yeah. So, Venom has decided since, he doesn't need all his powers yet. He can get them back over time. Well, not he. Venom thinks he can. Venom thinks that he can have his powers back over time, and that he decided to. Well, this is what Venom thinks. He goes, well, since I basically reset everything. There are no symbiotes, aka Clintars around, since, well, Null's gone. And, well, I don't know if there's any more in the universe in this one. I made sure, well, Null was never going to be born again. So I guess I am the god of symbiotes. Well, Clintars, symbiotes, yeah. And then he goes, so, should I at least have a form? Null looked like it, he was basically a male, so which form should I take? I mean, whatever form anyone who I attached to, male or female at the time, I'll go by that form. It's not like I'm really a female. And then basically but basically Venom remembers all the times he had emotional outbursts, quick tempered. Then basically just like, just like a whole bunch of, things that happen that Venom always said they were right. So, I mean, they were right and the host was wrong. And he was like, oh my god, I think God, I have a lot of female hormones. God damn it. Basically, though, just want to point this out. I did talk to my friend before I thought about making this. Well, before I made this. So basically, we made a joke about it, about how many times has Venom, the symbiote, had so many outbursts with Eddie from the movie Venom and Venom 2 and such. So we kind of just made a joke saying, if you really think about it, can we even say that, I mean, the symbiotes have no gender, so it's like, why not? Just do whatever. Uh, yeah, so basically, though, we said as a joke, I said, when I make this what if, I told him I was gonna do it. And so, yeah. So basically, Venom will find some random person. This random person was stabbed. By who? We don't know, just some random person. As basically, when Venom, gets to Earth, they attach to someone. As it turned out, it was a female. And so Venom says, alright then, I'm a female now. Well, actually, I at least have a gender. So yeah, so after Venom heals, their new host, she basically wakes up with no wound, and she's very amazed by how she's basically healed. We don't need to give her a name since she's not going to stay much around. Basically, this was 3 months before, the whole entire thing I said with Izuku saving Bakugo. So, after Venom explained who they are, and they said their compatibility isn't that great, but for right now, they're a good host. And so they get along pretty well, which is surprising to Venom. Anyways, 3 months later, we're gonna skip past the whole entire thing of Izuku. I did forget to mention, I wanted Izuku to basically be anti-venom, I did forget to mention this. He's gonna have the same thing Eddie had, basically. Unfortunately, it's gonna get dark. So, sorry to anyone out there. I'm not trying to make fun of anyone. Just want to know it's only part of the story because it makes sense how anti-venom was what came to be in the story and such. So please understand this. All right. Basically, Izuku basically had cancer. He was diagnosed at the age of 6. So yeah, no one knows this because he never wanted to tell anyone. Reasons why? No one. After Bakugo, he kind of picked up that quirkless people aren't really that loved or at all. So if someone thinks, if they found out he has a sickness, he thought he was gonna get bullied worse. He doesn't know what was gonna happen. So yeah, that was his reasoning. The school did know, but technically the teacher did not care because, technically piece of shit. Yeah. But anyways, so the whole time happens with Sledge Villain, All Might, Bakugo. All Might telling him that he was stupid and reckless, but he has a heart of a true hero, and if he trained, basically, he may be able to get into UA pass because he doesn't have a lot of support items, and that he hopes that he can try to get into UA. He'll be waiting. And so, Izuku had some hope. On the way home, he saw the media bashing him, and they don't even know. No one knows about anything about Izuku. Bakugo doesn't know either. So, what happens is, well, we're just having like Izuku walking home as well. Meanwhile, somewhere in the nearby, this woman that had venom is dying. Basically, the venom symbiote is nearly burnt. There's only like the size of a gum left. As basically she goes, Venom, you need to get out of here. Find someone, and make sure you help them to get revenge on that bastard villain, right? Basically, Venom says, I'm not gonna leave you, partner. He's like, we both know our compatibility wasn't that great. But thank you for saving me. At least I was able to die like I wanted to. In which Venom just says, whatever happens, I will find that bastard and kill him. I'll make sure I eat him. And when she goes, just stay safe, my friend. And then this woman slowly closes her eyes and she passes away. Venom feels useless. They're starting to think that they should never have, well, technically should never have actually gotten rid of, well, the abilities, or at least kept some, not like the weakest symbiote, no more. So Venom crawls away and such from that little gum, like the size of a, chewed up gum, and while basically it's crawling away, Izuku steps on Venom. Oh yeah, by the way, Venom's still gonna have that, basically the voice sounds like a man, sort of like man demon, because of bonded to Izuku, but when he basically talks to Venom in his head, it's gonna be like, basically they're actually gonna see each other, so like he'll hear, Venom as a female then. So yeah, just want to let you guys know that. Anyways, continuing on. So, Izuku's thinking, oh, come on. Why does everyone in this world has to fucking hate me? Doesn't matter now. I'm still gonna try. Maybe get into your way. But it's gonna be hard. I only got about another 10 years left? Crap. I'm gonna have to start going to treatments more often, so somehow in some way the treatments they've been giving me haven't been affecting me losing my hair. That's strange. But I mean, it's good and all. Still though, they've just been using new experimental technology on me. Doesn't even feel like it's working half the times, and they give me medicine. Well, hopefully Mom ain't home. I just want to sleep. Tired. Especially after that beating Bakugo gave me. It's a good thing I keep moving a certain way where I don't become easily broken. Takes a lot of energy out of me every day. So Izuku finally gets home, and well, he gets to his room, puts his bag down, takes off his shoes, his uniform, and then goes to sleep. Venom thinks this is the perfect opportunity. A new host. Maybe I can try to basically, get revenge on that freaking burnt chicken nugget. Whatever he was called. Or whatever he is called. I don't know. So yeah. Oh yeah, if you guys think, like, is Izuku quirkless? No, he's not. I just want to make sure you guys understand that. I know I should have explained that sooner, but it's like instead of everything go to canon, like him being bullied, he has a dormant quirk. That's the thing. It's like a razor head, but when he stares at somebody, they cannot use that quirk for an hour. So yeah. Okay, continuing on. So basically, Venom gets off of Izuku's sneaker, crawls up his bed, and starts to latch onto Izuku while he's in sleep. So while Venom is, latching on to him, covering him, basically in the suit, Venom is starting to, bond to him and basically make him to his apex, upgrade him to what he should be like with basically how can I say this? He'd be like Peter Parker, you know, muscle wise basically, and a lot stronger. So basically how they basically make them to their apex or change them to be it's hard to explain very much to me for some reason. I did take a nap, so I'm kind of waking up. But basically, you know what I mean. Had the symbiote change people to basically be a lot stronger, faster, and it's an upgrade. So yeah. And basically, she starts to cure anything that Zuko has. Which she found out she knew about quirks, and where she found out he had a dormant quirk, so she unlocks that for him. But then she finds out about his cancer, and it's basically I'm trying. I did have a plan for it, but just to let you know he has it, and figure out which one it is, or just know he has it. I don't want to say it's much, so yeah. Anyway, so basically Venom starts to try and cure it. But while that happens, she goes technically dormant. And this happens, it was a Friday. No, yeah, it was a Friday. They had no school the next day. So Izuku sleeps all the way to 12 in the, 12 in the afternoon. And when he wakes up, he's like, man, I feel so much better. Why am I so full of energy today? Huh. He basically, goes past the mirror in his room. He goes, wait a minute. He looks back, and I see he is more muscular, a little bit taller, and, he's not, he doesn't look like he has, eye bag, basically, eye bags, or, he looks tired all the time. He's like, how, huh, what happened to me? This is really weird. And how am I not freaking out? Oh, yeah, I usually don't freak out over this stuff sometimes. I better talk to Mom. So, Suzuku basically goes, down, to the kitchen. He goes, hey, Mom, something weird happened to me. And she goes, what's wrong, Zuku? I know you've been sleeping until 12 in the afternoon, but it's basically, he has a shirt on, and she can see he's taller, a little bit muscular. And she was like, how? I don't know what happened. All I know is I woke up like this, and I feel better than I ever have. She goes, wait, really? He was like, yeah. I mean, I don't feel tired. So, I don't know why, but I just feel great. She goes, alright, well, we have to go to the doctor today. It's like, true. What time? She goes, in 2 hours. She's like, alright, I'll get ready and we should get going. She goes, first eat lunch and your breakfast. He's like, okay. So he starts eating it, and he gets a little, it's a lot, technically Izuku never really ate much. he never really had a big appetite, so Ingo gave him like a little amounts of food. He goes, "Hey mom, can I have more? I'm still hungry." She was like, "Oh, this is a first." He was like, "Yeah, I don't know why." She was like, "All right then." So basically, she starts basically making more food, giving it to him, and then he eats it, and he was like, "Ah, that felt great. Thanks. I mean, take a shower, brush my teeth, and all that, and we can get going." She's all right. So he does that. He gets undressed and puts on sneakers. He doesn't realize his clothes were well. He did wear big clothes, so he didn't let no one notice. And plus, he always likes to get exercise here because they always will shrink in the wash. So he puts them on. He's like, huh, it's good thing I always wear big clothes on me. I mean, they always do shrink in the wash anyways, but still, it takes a while. So I mean, he comes downstairs and such, and he's like, "Ready, mom?" She goes, "Yeah, sweetie, come on." So basically, he goes to the doctor, and well, the doctor is saying, "Izuku, is this you?" He's like, "Yeah, doc, it's me. I don't know what happened. I just woke up like this." He goes, alright then. Let's check the usual. He's like, right. So basically, they do all these scans on Izuku, which is nothing harm to Venom. And, well, he was like, uh, well, this is quite shocking. Which Inko's like, what's wrong? Is something bad? Did it get worse? He was like, no, it's gone. Completely gone. Which Izuku and Inko are just like, huh? What do you mean completely gone? It's like you never had it to begin with. I knew over the years, like, well, every 2 years they got progressively worse, basically, which we always had to increase the dosage and how many times you had to come back, but now it's just gone. I, well, I can, say this with a happy heart, Izuku Midoriya. You're cured. He's like, you're kidding, right? Right? He goes, I'm not Izuku. Whatever happened, or whatever if the treatment worked or not, I guess I don't know. But honestly, I'm not really caring right now. Besides, you're well, you're gonna live a long life now, and it always can come back. But if that happens, we'll just do everything we can again, and let's hope it never does. He was like, yeah, but Doc, you have no idea how much I'm happy. He's like, oh yes, I saw on the news yesterday. It was yeah. He goes, it was brave of you. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. He's like, thanks. So, do you think he goes, with enough training? If you start tomorrow, take a day of rest, I think you would become a great hero. He's like, oh, thanks. Really? No problem, Izuku. Now, get going. Thank you, Dr. Connors. No problem. Bye, Ingo, Midoriya. Which basically they went by him, and Izuku and him leave. I mean, Izuku and his mom leave. Not him. He was like, thank God that boy's cured. He would have, well, if he died, this world would have lost a great hero. Oh, then, let us see what we can do. Next patient, please. And, well, it's just a kid trying to get his quirk examined. So, Izuku and Inko are basically, well, Inko's in her car driving back home. She was like, I'm so glad, Izuku. Do you want to go out to eat? Do you want to do something? And he's like, Mom, calm down. It's fine. I just want to walk around for a bit and take in everything. She was, you sure? He's like, yeah, can you just pull over here? She was, okay, sweetie, just get home. Not too late. He's like, I promise. Alright. She was, alright. So basically she pulls over and Izuku gets out of the car. He says he loves you to his mom and such. And she says, I love you back. So he closes the door and she drives off. Then he basically, takes a walk. He's like, man, I feel like this weight of just dread on me is gone. I feel light and free. And this is when Venom is starting to wake up. As she is thinking, oh, what happened to me? Oh, yeah, this kid. Okay, I wonder what's happening. So basically, she just hears him talking. It's like, finally, I can do a lot more things. I don't want to worry about getting hurt too badly and punching, well, any punches from those bullies. Huh. I wonder how strong I am now. Should probably go to a gym or try to clean that beach. Yeah, that'd be kind of good. That actually would be a good idea. That used to be a good place. As well as you know, Venom takes the abilities of certain the person it latches onto. So technically, spider sense will kick in. I believe that. I believe Venom does have a spider sense. Well, technically, yeah. If it not, then let's just say in this one, Venom has it. So as Izuku basically was walking, in the road as a car was coming, all of a sudden he jumped back onto the sidewalk doing a backflip and lands, on his feet. He's like, "Whoa, what was that?" And everyone's like saying, "Oh my god, are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." He's like, "Oh my, you must have a reflex quirk or something because that was awesome." He's like, "It was just instincts, nothing more, nothing less." He's like, "Either way, glad you're safe." Some guys say like, because these are just civilians, so He's like, "Thanks." He's like, "What the quirk? I shouldn't have a quirk." Well, I mean, it's been dormant, so that could have been just a lie. And then all of a sudden he hears a voice saying, "You're not, well, technically it was dormant." And basically he hears like a monster, sort of voice. It's like, "What the, monstrous male voice or something." It's hard. Yeah, I'm just saying, yeah, that. It just sounds like a monster's male voice, I guess. Trying to describe it's complicated. No, just woke up from a nap. Basically, it just sounds like Venom's voice. Well, he was like, "What the?" As then Venom just tells him to go to an alleyway, and so he does go in. He's like, "Okay, am I going crazy?" As Venom comes out and he goes, "You're not going crazy, kid." He's like, "Wait, who are you?" He goes like, "Who are we?" "We are Venom." He's like, "Huh? Venom?" He goes, "Yes." Basically, all of a sudden, from the corner of Venom's eye, there's like a window, basically not put into and around the frame, but not put it onto the wall. As basically Venom sees itself as black and white, and like in the picture, as she goes, "What the hell happened to me?" And he goes, "Wait, what do you mean?" He's like, "It's because of that, your cancer and your quirk." And he goes, "Wait, my quirk?" He goes, "Yes, your quirk." He's like, what?" It's supposed to be dormant, but I just gave up on, trying to activate it." And he goes, "Ah, your quirk, you're about to be a late bloomer, but you had a quirk, okay? I don't know what it does, but, huh." Then basically Venom just stops and thinks for a few minutes, and she just says, and he goes, basically the person who she bonded with was a scientist and genetics, so she goes, "I bet it's because of your quirk and then the cancer mixed together that must mainly the cancer and whatever treatment you were going for to basically get rid of it, plus then your quirk must have made me different, mutate me a little bit. So I may have new abilities now than I used to." Which she's like, okay. Explain everything to me from the very beginning. She was, then this is gonna take a long story. It's like, "I got time." She goes, "All right." So basically, Venom explains about how basically the Marvel Universe was, what happened with her and, well, technically at the time, Eddie and Venom. basically, and how basically she just remade the world and such. And then she came to Earth, and then she arrived in the current time period of it, and that she basically did not remake it where all the main bad guys were around. In which he's like, okay, Clintar's god of symbiotes, Venom, Eddie, Spider-Man. The Daily Bugle. Wait, how the fudge is the Daily Bugle still around then? She goes, huh? He was like, yeah, the Daily Bugle started in New York and now it's in Japan. Like, basically, they have like one in like Europe. I mean, no, England too. Basically, London. He's like, huh? I guess the Daily Bugle got more bigger then. He's like, yeah. Oh my god. Okay. 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 Alright, so basically, thanks to you, I am cancer free. Thank you, Venom. Now, let's just go figure out what we can do. Alright? Alright, sure. So basically, she does tell him that she will need to eat chocolate or, well, brains, basically people. He's like, oh, wait, what? She goes, chocolate is a good substitute, including chickens, but please no chickens. Eddie used to have me eat that all the time, and it was annoying. He's like, okay, first off, we did not eat good people. Basically, he says this in his head, Basically, what we do is we fight bad people, and if they're divorced, then we may eat them. She was good, because I know someone I have to kill, so technically I have to eat. He's like, okay, so maybe there's some stuff we can also eat, basically, maybe some regular food, like burgers and such, and then chocolate on it. I don't know. I just don't want to eat people. She was, well, basically Venom says, okay. What is your dream? He goes, to be a hero. But the society's, well, age of quirks, basically new generations are corrupted. I can see that by how they, said how my efforts to save someone was not necessary and that I was in the way, and that I should not have been doing it because I was quirkless. In which Venom sees his memory and she goes, yeah, you're right. As well, Izuku basically, when I see someone picking on someone else, basically some kid in middle school, his middle school picking on someone else, someone that he knows that is very good, very kind, and that, well, they don't deserve this, so he walks over to them and he was like, hey, stop picking on him. As he was like, or what are you gonna, whoa, wait, you're that Midoriya kid. How you were just so looking frail and scrawny and short. How did you get a little taller and muscular? It was like, not your problem. Actually, not even business. As he goes, doesn't matter if you got muscular, still a quirkless nobody. As well, this kid, let's just say he has spikes coming out of his arm. As he goes, it's against the law to use their quirk. He's like, it doesn't matter if you're dead. He's like, jeez, I didn't know you were, trying to be a thug. He was like, what? I'm in the gang. What do you expect? He's like, oh, no wonder why you suck in school. He's like, why you? As when Midoriya all of a sudden, eyes glow red and his hair kind of stands up a little bit, the guy's quirk deactivates. He's like, what the? He goes, wait, did my, is that my quirk? He's like, wait, quirk, you're supposed to be quirkless. He goes like, oh, yeah, Bakugo told everyone in kindergarten. I said I had a dormant quirk. But, after I tried so many times to, even find out what my quirk was, I actually thought it was quirkless. That's why I never fought back on when someone said it. But since I do have a quirk, as then he starts cracking his knuckle, he's like, let's see how much you like this. As then Izuku just throws a right hook, send the guy, basically tumbling down. He's like, and he's holding his left cheek. He's like, that hurts. What the hell? He's like, come on. Didn't you always said it was fun to pick on the weak? So, let's see how you like it now. As Izuku just grabs him and just starts beating him. As well then, Venom basically says, wait, this is a good time to try it out. Let's see if this will work. As then, all of a sudden, the symbiote, goes onto his fingers, as basically he kind of plants them into the guy, just because he thinks this will work. As all of a sudden, he can feel like he's doing something. And when he rips his hand out of the guy's body, there's no, holes in or anything. It's just like, well, is basically the guy who's like, why do I feel so different? He goes, huh? Basically, though, Izuku doesn't know. I mean, since it's the first time he activated and he had to train it, the quirk will only look like Aizawa, basically, like Aizawa, but only for 10, basically 2 minutes. So 2 minutes have passed and the guy, tries to activate his quirk. He can't. He goes, what the? I feel powerless. And so, she basically says, this is a bad thing, Izuku. Says, why? Because I think I made him quirkless. I covered the DNA of the quirk gene. He's like, shit. If they find out about what I did then, people will come after us. Just, I know. Here. Let me do something. It's basically tendrils come out of his back, and, well, all of a sudden, they get cut. Both the guy that was being picked on and the slug, basically, middle school, going to basically be a part of the game, bully, basically, gets covered in the symbiote, as then, boom. Their memories get altered, just seeing, someone, basically, what anti-venom looks like. As, well, she goes, I also their memories, they won't basically see us. They basically just see something black and white, red eyes, red mouth, looking like a monster. It's like, huh. Why do I have a feeling? Well, that looks like you a little bit in that just head form, but let's see where this goes. So, basically, after that, Izuku and Venom talk more, and he goes like, so, if we can, make people quirkless, I have a few people I want to make that. He was like, oh, the bullies? He goes, yeah, I want to purge this world of them. They don't deserve quirks. I mean, I shouldn't be saying that. But after all the pain they put me through, they still think they can be a hero? I can't get rid of everyone in the school that'll just look suspicious. I should get everyone in my class, or at least a good 10 of them. The ones that basically hang out with Bakugo, and a few that actually did, break one of my bones every once in a while. This is going to be quite interesting to see what happens. And so, Izuku's walking by for 30 minutes. Just walking on the sidewalk, and then he notices the bullies on the other side. At least 5 of them. He goes, there they are. She goes, wait, those are the guys? He goes, yeah, you saw my memory. Oh, wait, can you even see my memories? She goes, yeah, I could. So, are you really sure? He's like, yeah. I know their quirks perfectly. I can basically easily take them on. So, morphing back into what I looked like beforehand. She goes, alright. So basically, Zuko looks like his, canon self, but a little, scrawny, As basically one of the guys after 5 minutes of Izuku walking, basically the guy sees him, and he was like, "Hey guys, look, it's Midoriya." Come on, Bakugo didn't give him a beating. Well, at the end of the day, so how about we have some fun? As one of the guys says, "Nah, I'm not into this," and another one says, I'm in the mood. Who knows? We may have some money we could take off of him." So they're like, "Yeah, come on." As basically the leader of them, which Bakugo and around. So basically, the guy who didn't want to was like, "All right, let's just not take it too far." I never understood why he's always, well, dodging certain attacks in a certain way. And they all just look at me like, "Are you kidding me?" It's like, "What? I mean, you guys don't take certain martial arts, so you don't know." And they're like, "True." Anyways, so basically these guys run over. Izuku like goes to the alleyway. This one, and well, Izuku probably doesn't even know this is a dead end. But neither does the guy. So what happens is that they go like, "Oh man, he's probably running away from us. He can't get away in that alleyway. Come on!" As they just running a little bit faster. And so Izuku gets into the alleyway. He hides behind a trash can. He goes, "All right, changing back." As well, Venom changes back to what he looks like. And so when basically these guys are, well, he's pretty deep into the highway, so no one's gonna see what happens. So what's going to happen is that when basically they're getting near, well, the dead end, the one guy says, "Hey, Midoriya, come out wherever you are." As he's like, "Okay, I don't want them to notice me. So how are we?" She goes, "Well, basically Venom says, just say mask." He's like, mask?" As then, boom, he transforms into what Anti-Venom looks like. He basically is, well, above the, dumpster as they see it. Izuku, or should I say Anti-Venom, was like, "What the hell is that thing?" As, well, he goes, "We are Anti-Venom." As tendrils lash out at two of them that run away, pulling that back, throwing them behind him. As then basically arms stretched out, grabbing one, throwing him, that one behind. Since that's three, two more tendrils. Or should I say three more? Yeah, wait, two, three, five, no, two more. Grab the other two, throw them behind him, and well, they all hit each other. So they're like, "What the?" As one of the guys says, "Come on, let's use our quirks on him." They're like, "Yeah." So one of them has a hardening quirk, and well, technically this other way has like a abandoned building that's to his left. So you're gonna see why I'm saying that. So one of them has a hardening quirk, not like Kirishima's at all. It's more, well, it is like Kirishima's, but it's also mixed with Tetsu's. So it looks like it has blades. The other one is just stretchy fingers. That one of them has, I want to say, the eyes. Basically you pull out his eyes and stretch. And the other ones just have like non. Well, I guess you could say kind of a flexibility quirk and an agile quirk. Well, flexibility one, and then the other one out, agility. So basically, Izuku's just thinking, these guys are idiots. So basically, Izuku says, "Come at me!" As they also, all run out. As Izuku just runs forward. He punches the one with the, well, hardening quirk, in the face, sending him flying. Then the other one tries to, use basically stretch your fingers, try to, well, hit him in the eyes, and then he dodges it, punches him in the stomach, put him on the ground, holding it in pain. As well, the other three they just can't do nothing. He's just thinking, "You gotta be kidding me. These guys are afraid, and they bullied me. Jeez, I feel sorry now." But not sorry enough to make them quirkless. As well, Zuko then puts his fingers stretch out, hitting them and making them quirkless, along with, well, changing their memories up. Well, the same thing with the stretchy finger guy by holding him. But now the one with the hardening quirk, basically, you gets him. He's like, "What the hell did you do to them?" He was like, "Purging the disease inside of them." He goes, "What? What do you mean they're disease?" "Your quirks." But she's like, "What? You are evil. You think, basically, you deserve power. You let it corrupt you and bully the weak. I am that cure to show you what it's like." As he's like, "No, stay back." And he's trying to back away, and then he realizes he's at the actual, dead end. Izuku grabs him, and he starts the process of, well, making him quirkless. But then all of a sudden, the guy starts screaming. As then he lets go, as he goes, "Venom, what the hell happened?" And Venom says, I don't know, but I feel, well, we feel different. I think I took his quirk by accident." He's like, "Wait, you can take quirks?" He's like, "This never has happened, but I guess just one of my old abilities, I guess, since." He's like, "Oh yeah, God of symbiotes. You might have been able to do that. You were able to take other symbiotes away. So why not quirks?" So shit. He's, I mean, it may not have been a big part of it. His quirk. I just took a. I was well. We let go in time, so I do feel like we did take some of it. It's not broken. Or wait, I may have actually copied it. He was like, "Huh. So technically he is quirkless, but we have his quirk." She goes, "Yeah. Well, his technically quirk is hardening, so try hardening it into a blade. Think of it." He's like, "Okay." So all of a sudden, he puts out his left hand, as then his basically arm turns into an actual blade, like Riot, the symbiote. He's, "Holy crap, this is cool. I wonder how sharp it is." As then he basically slashes at the wall on his left side, as he basically cut right through it, and he's like, "Holy shit, this thing is sharp." And she goes, "Note to self: don't use that unless it's on a villain that we cannot kill. We can kill, but we have no choice." It's like, good point. So he's like, "What are you?" He goes, "As I already said, we are anti-venom." As well, the guy passes out. His memories were already altered because they all forgot Izuku was even there. They only know is that they were running into the alleyway. Then this thing ambushed them. That's all. So Izuku basically jumps onto the wall, climbs up it, and well, kind of goes on the rooftops until he gets to another alleyway, and then de-transform. Well, symbol comes off him. Then he basically goes out. He was like, "So, my quirk is erasing other people's quirks. I gotta train this, so we have to see how long it can last. And then we can, well, do something." She's, "Are you gonna try to become a hero?" He's like, "Maybe, but I have to train, so let's go to the, beach tomorrow, but I need to get home. I need to tell my mom about this," so she goes, "Alright." So basically, Izuku gets home, he goes, "Hey, Mom." He just walks to the door, she's in the living room, she was like, "Yeah, sweetie." He was like, "I think my quirk awoken." She goes, "Wait, you mean it finally awoken?" He's like, "Yeah, what is it?" He was like, er, you know, "Well, we have to go to the court doctor and all." She was like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah. I'll call up Dr. Connors." Which, as soon as Venom hears that, she's like, "Wait, Dr. Connors?" And remember, Zuko hears his, male Venom voice. So he's like, "Yeah, is that a problem?" She goes, "I didn't suspect that he would still be around." He's like, "Wait, what do you mean?" So she just says Dr. Connors became a villain named the Lizard, and Spider-Man had to fight him. He's like, "Okay, that explains it. Some things while you're shot." But she asked, "Does he have a missing arm?" He's like, "No, he's perfectly fine. I mean, technically he has a prosthetic arm, but it's he doesn't even care. It's perfectly like his own arm. He can move his hands perfectly fine." She's like, "Oh, that's good." He goes, "Yeah." I mean, he technically had to invent it himself with a friend of his, but eh. She goes, well, anyways, your mom just says, let's get going. He's like, alright. So he walks out with his mom, get in the car, they drive back, and Dr. Connor's like, when they get there, he's like, huh? Why are you here? It's only been like, well, 3 hours. And she goes, Izuku broke his quirk. And he's like, wait, what? Okay, come on. So basically, they get in the back room, basically in the doctor's office, as they then take some of his blood and they start to examine it. Or, well, technically, and then they technically check the frequency, basically see if he has a quirk and such, which Venom's not affected by, because I don't want them to know yet. And he's like, okay, two good news. Since you have no more cancer, you also have your quirk. We had to test this out. He goes, alright, how? He's like, well, test it out on me. He's, huh? I don't have, basically the area for you to test out. This is a small, hospital. Basically just, your local hospital. And he goes, true. So, what? How do you hold your quirk now? He's like, oh, it's a lizard. Technically, I, only can make my hand a lizard, basically. I do have certain basically certain things I can do, but I can't regrow my limbs. Tail, well, technically not my arms, but my tail. If I have one, if I go into full on lizard mode, yes. But it's all right. So he activates, his transformation and only on his arm, and basically he then, his eyes glow red, and then his hair stands up a little bit, as then all of a sudden his, Dr. Connor's quirk deactivates. So he goes like, all right, let's see. So he tries to activate his quirk again. Nothing happens. 2 minutes later, try to activate it again. Nothing happens. 3 minutes later, he activates it. He goes like, huh, seems like there's a time period for your quirk. What was the last time, you used it? He was like, this guy that was bullying a kid, he couldn't use his quirk for 2 minutes. He's just making up a lie. He's like, I see. So you have to test. Hold on. Alright, as I was saying, Dr. Connor says we have to test out the duration of it, but maybe we can also increase it by you training it. He's like, alright, so how you recommend it? He's like, well, I would recommend asking someone to try to test out the duration of it, but I mean, he goes, yeah, not many people are going to, so I guess try to get into fights. He's like, I would not recommend it, but try to talk to someone with a quirk, basically, and then test it out. He's like, okay. And basically, Inko says, I'll do it. He's like, Mom, you sure? She goes, it's no problem. I mean, I don't use my quirk that much anyways, so we can, test out every single time and make mental notes. He's like, alright, thanks, Mom. She goes, no problem, Izuku. So then Connor's like, alright then. So, congratulations. And he's like, what are we gonna name it? He was like, well, it is erasing someone's quirk for an hour. We don't want to call it a razor. That name's already taken for a quirk. Izuku says, for right now I'll just keep it as that. But don't write it down on my papers, alright? He goes, okay. Whatever you say, Izuku. He's like, thanks, Doc. So, anyways, thanks again for taking us before you closed. He's like, no problem. Congratulations again. He's like, thanks. So basically they leave, and, well, Dr. Connors then types into his computer on why he, knows about, he read on the Razor, he knows about this quirk called the Razor, basically the Eraser. So he then finds out about the underground hero Razorhead. Same thing with Izuku, but he has to stare at someone to even have it work. He was like, could it be? Inko said she did not, Izuku was not an unwanted child, but she did get drunk and, this could be the Razorhead's kid, then. she didn't remember him, so he probably doesn't even remember her. Or he doesn't want Izuku in his life. Either way, it doesn't even matter. So basically, Inko and Izuku get home, they have a dinner and such. And she basically talks to Mitsuki, just telling how Izuku is and such, because he always asks. And then she said about, well, Izuku told her not to tell Mitsuki about his quirk, or his appearance, or even about what he had cancer or such. Well, actually, she knew about that. She said it was already too late. He's like, oh, that's why she always asks, how am I doing every time I see her? She was like, uh-huh. Like, alright, well, anyways. Just don't tell about the quirk and how I look. She's like, okay. So, Izuku, basically after eating, his mom talks. Basically, they just have a good night. He goes to sleep. Oh, after that, we skip to the next day. Izuku goes to the deku beach and he starts, cleaning it. Basically doing, well, the exact same thing All Might wanted, but he's having such a much more easier time. He's shocked by how strong he is. Venom did say basically symbiotes make the host stronger. They even change their appearance and body type, basically make them to where it would best suit the person to be at. So it's better at handling, well, anything. So he's like, huh. So basically, you just improve myself to be at a perfect area for basically me. She goes, uh-huh. You basically kind of remind me of Peter Parker, so yeah. He's like, and technically that was the best suited look for you. He's like, huh. That's strange. He goes, yeah, I know. Coincidence. Well, he's like, well, anyways, Venom. I'll just continue working. And his face goes like, alright, just remember to eat some chocolate. It's like, oh yeah, there's a store nearby. I better go buy some. He goes, good, because technically your liver was going to start to look really tasty. He's like, don't eat it. She's like, fine, but So, as Izuku goes to buy chocolate and such, he basically has a bag, he puts it in it, and then he goes back to clean up the trash. And he does find some, well, gear and such, like some boots, so basically looks like armor from, well, a suit. Basically like bulletproof vest or such. And he's like, what the? Wow, they throw out everything. Venom says, ooh, Izuku, put on the suit. He's like, okay, so, he says mask, as then all of a sudden the suit comes on, and then, well, he grabs it, and the suit basically adds the boots, the actual bulletproof vest onto it, and then also he gets smaller, as then he's like, what the hell? He's like, basically, you can add stuff to the suit to improve it on it, and the appearance will change. So basically, he looks around and such, he finds some stuff, and well then he looks like Agent Anti-Venom. Yeah. He's like, well, this could be a good hero suit. And she was like, really? Why? He's like, well, technically speaking, if I'm gonna want to be a hero, we can't let people know about, well, this. So having this, well, I mean by this, I mean us be able to, well, take people's quirks away and such, and it'd be better off if I just, pretend I'm using my eyes when I grab them. She was right. Also, you technically want to, if you said you couldn't become a hero from your memories, you were going to become a vigilante. He's like, oh yeah. It doesn't matter. So, basically he changes back to normal without the suit on, and then, he's like, well, that seems to be enough for the day. Already, like, 1/3 of the trash is gone. Let's get back home. It's already 3 o'clock. Basically Venom says, right. So, basically, they're traveling back home. On the way there, well, a robbery's happening of a jewelry store, basically. As he was like, shit, there's no heroes around. As Venom says, okay, I have an idea, but it's gonna be really stupid. Hold on. Okay, he's like, okay, what do I have to do? She goes, okay, go in the alleyway. He's like, why is it always in the alleyway? She goes, just trust me. He's like, fine. So he was like, man, sometimes you act like a girl. She's like, what was that? He's like, nothing. That was nothing. Jeez. He's like, He's like, okay, now what? Okay, put on the Agent Venom suit. Agent Venom. Just trust me. Don't ask. It's like, okay, is that the name we're going to call it? She goes, yes. So he's like, okay. So basically he goes into the Agent Venom suit. He goes, now what? And he goes, now, all of a sudden it starts transforming from out of the Agent Venom suit, starting changing color to basically becoming blue, red, and black. Basically getting the Spider-Man, normal symbol on it. Not that big giant one, as, Agent Venom would have. Mask is changing, becoming, well, how can I say this? He's looking like Spider-Man from the comics. Basically the regular, Spider-Man suit. The original, you could say red, blue, and, well, black lines on it to make it look like weapon. He's like, what the? He goes, this is the Spider-Man costume. So, I know I can make artificial webs, but it would be handy to actually have some for technically in the suit in general. He's like, huh? He goes, why? He was like, well, web shooters. Basically, they can store a lot of good gadgets in them. He's like, okay, how? What are web shooters? He was like, I'll explain it later, and I'll draw it for you. He was like, okay. What now? She goes, now go fight crime. He's like, I shouldn't have asked. That was completely obvious. She goes, yeah, don't be stupid. You're smart. I know it. He's like, well, thanks. And alright, whatever. So basically, Izuku technically runs out of the alleyway, and then basically he jumps forward, as one of the guys says, we got a good score, guys. As then basically this big, tall guy says, yeah, I know. As then he gets kicked in the face and flying. He goes, robbing a store really isn't good in broad daylight. Should have done that at night. He's like, what the? Who are you? He's like, doesn't matter, but just let you know. Just your friendly neighborhood. And basically just says, well, Venom says Spider-Man. He goes, Spider-Man? And he's like, oh my god. He goes, what the? Are you just some hero? He's like, no, I'm just new in town. He's like, a vigilante then. He's like, maybe. Doesn't really matter. He's like, kill him, boys! As basically all of a sudden they basically pull out guns. One of them shoots out, well, lightning from his hand. Well, technically plasma out of his hand. As Izuku dodges it by jumping up. As basically when they start shooting, he basically able to dodge in midair. And he's just thinking, whoa, my reflexes are really more faster. And then basically, he jumped backwards and he's doing this and he lands basically in like, well, you could say Spider-Man way. His right leg out, left knee bent down to the ground with his hand on it. He's like, come on. Are you guys really gonna be that mean? I know it's not, well, good faith to do a sneak attack on you guys, but, I mean, you're robbing a store. As then basically all of a sudden Izuku gets grabbed by one guy, basically the guy he kids, and he's thrown into this technology store. As when he does get thrown into it, Venom starts to, well, use the suit to consume metals and the materials. And he goes like, okay, new plan. He's like, right? What is it? Okay, so, you know about those web shooters? She goes, yeah. And I could create artificial webs? He goes, yeah. Use the artificial webs. He goes like, how? She goes, flick your wrist. And he was like, okay, how is that? He goes like, okay, make a, rock star, fingers, basically. He's like, okay, so then she goes, now have your thumb out, and then basically use both of those fingers to press into your hand, and aim. He's like, you mean like this? And then basically he just shoots a web into a guy. So he's like, what the? He was like, ha, sorry, but there's web in your face. And he's like, why am I making these? Why am I talking like this? She was like, I don't know. And he's just thinking to himself, okay, for some reason it feels weird. But, okay. If you guys are wondering, yes, I'm making him actually like Spider-Man. And if you guys are going to wonder, is he like the Peter Parker of this My Hero Academia universe? You guys can figure that one out. But anyways, so Izuku then basically used the webs, pulls himself out out of there. He basically then says, alright then, since you guys are gonna play unfair, how about I do this? As he basically jumps in the air, pulls one up, starts beating them up, and then grabbing them, throwing them into one guy, pulling the other guy, gun out of his hand, then basically webbing the ground, pulling himself towards it, towards the guy, kick him in the face, and then he starts beating that one up, webbing, well, when he falls onto the ground, him up along with the other two, as the guy finally, the big guy that, threw him into the, well, basically the technology store rips off the web. He's like, ugh, what the? How did you take out my gut? My goons. He's like, so you're the boss here? He's like, yeah. What about? He's like, I thought you'd be a lot bigger. What? As then all of a sudden Izuku basically webs him, his shoulders, jumps over him, crossing the webs, basically then having it go around him, looping around his leg. Well, he basically slid right underneath the leg, pulling it as he gets pushed forward. Then he basically jumps in the air, spins, but has his foot out and kicks the guy in the face in midair, knocking him out. It was like impressive. He's like, okay, I have no idea why, but for some weird reason, it felt like my body was going on autopilot. Did you just like enhance my body to do this like Peter Parker would? She was 50-50. He's like, okay, I gotta learn some martial arts then. As then all of a sudden he hears sirens. He's like, shit! As they say, he jumps up and starts shooting webs out in his hand. As he's pulling, he just starts web swinging. He's like, okay, how do I do this? And she goes, okay, just relax. Basically, relax your body, relax your mind. Just, use basically the momentum to go even faster. But also keep it at a good pace where you can, make your turns right. He's like, okay. So basically, he's learning on the fly, how to web swing. As he's starting to get it, and all of a sudden he's like, okay, I think I'm starting to get this down. As then all of a sudden the spider sense kick in. As basically he has the web in his left hand. As also he pulls himself up, uses his right hand to pull himself even higher onto the web. As then he puts his feet on it, pulls himself up. Hold on. Okay, as I was saying before, my dad knocked on the door telling me I was being loud, but yet I'm talking normal. So basically, he's pulling the web up to get himself even, higher. As he basically looks to the, back, as he sees, where the fire came from. It came from Endeavor. He's like, oh, come on. Not the number 2 hero. Basically, Endeavor says, halt there, you, vigilante. He's like, look, I'm sorry, but they were robbing a store. There were no heroes around. What was I supposed to do? He goes, call a hero, he says. He's like, well, I'm sorry, I didn't have a phone on me. And he's like, it doesn't matter, you're gonna be arrested. He's like, see ya. As they say, he just like, let's go, basically by jumping off, that starts web swinging even faster. As basically, Endeavor calls her back up, helicopters being flying in the air. Basically, they have like, basically, tranquilizer, guns. Basically, he's like, oh shit, Venom, what do I do? She was like, think of something. I can't tell you everything. He's like, fine. As they see, he's just like looking around while he's web swinging, dodging the tranquilizer darts. He's like, he sees a building. He's like, okay. This is gonna be very difficult. So he just swings himself. Let's go by jumping from the web. Basically, when you basically get momentum, swing. Put your feet up and then volley yourself. Yeah, he does that, and then he basically lands on the building and starts running up it. And Venom goes like, all right, well, I can help you at least this time. He's like, what do you mean at least this time? She was like, I can make you invisible. He's like, or camouflage, you can say. He's like, that would have been helpful. Really, that would have been helpful. And she goes, I'm sorry, but I want to see how well you were doing. And well, you were doing pretty well. So, as when Izuku was getting to the top, he basically volleys over with a web, making himself going like over the building, and then he's going down. As all this stuff, he turns. Well, he goes in camouflage, and then he basically pulls himself to the wall and just sticks on it. As Endeavor basically flies onto the building and say, "Where is he?" As like the helicopters are going by, they don't see nothing, and they contact Endeavor saying, "We lost him." As he was like, "He couldn't have gone far. Spread out." So they actually leave the area. Endeavor leaves, and yes, they do spread out. And Izuku basically was like, "Whew, man, that was something." She goes, "Mm-hmm." Now, get to, well, on a rooftop or something and change. She was like, "Oh no, alleyway. Or just web swing all the way home." Well, camouflage. She was like, "Alright." So, basically, while Zuko's web swing, he's like, "I'm hungry though." He's like, yeah, true. Wait, what about I had my bag on me." She was like, "It's in, oh wait, the chocolate!" As then all of a sudden, basically, he can basically hear Venom saying, "Chocolate, He's like, "Are you eating it while, you know, just like, basically my bag's inside of you?" He's like, "Uh-huh." He's like, "Just don't eat it all too quickly." She goes, I won't." So, Izuku basically still camouflage, he gets home, basically the suit comes off, and, well, opens up the door, as basically Inko says, "Izuku, look, it's a new vigilante." As he's like, "Huh?" As basically a news reporter saying, "Witness has saw this, well, person in a suit. We don't know who he is, but, well, underneath the mask. But we do know this. Witness has said they heard him saying, 'Just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.' Who is Spider-Man? What's gonna happen?" Heroes had a hard time catching him. Pro Hero Endeavor couldn't, well, catch him. The cops couldn't, capture him. So, who is he? Why is he here? Is he, well, fighting the laws or protecting them? Back to, well, you, whoever, basically at the news station. So, and he was like, "I knew vigilante, huh? I wonder if he's gonna get, captured easily." And Zuko's like, "I don't know, Mom, but let's hope." She goes, "Right." And she goes, right." So, he goes, "Anyways, I'm gonna go in my room, just call him when dinner's done." He goes, "Okay, Zuko." So, he goes into his room, he closes the door, locks it. He's like, "Okay. Spider-Man." Basically, sits on his, chair with his desk. He's like, "I have a feeling I'm gonna have a lot of problems coming at me." She goes, "You have no idea. If villains find out about you, I mean, whenever there's a superhero," and he's like, "There's many heroes around the world." He's like, "Yeah, but I'm talking about specifically Spider-Man, because anytime Spider-Man's around, there's always basically a big bad villain or trouble is around." He's like, "Fudge." Alright. He's like, "Also, here's my schedule. Here's my book. So, are you gonna..." She goes, "Right." So basically, she draws out the web shooters from Spider-Man PS4. And she basically explains on what basically it has inside of it and such. And he was like, "Alright. So, how do you already know all the schematics and such?" She goes, "Oh, I was around Peter Parker a few times, basically after I had to de-bond with Eddie. So, I learned a few feelings with him." It's like, "Oh, okay. So, we just need the materials for this then." She was like, "Lucky enough, we have some of it." He's like, "Wait, seriously?" She goes, "Yep." So, basically, the suit comes onto his arms, and then all of a sudden, all the materials from basically from the technology store, basically comes out of his arms, and he's like, "Okay, we just need some, well, gear for this. Looks like I have to go shopping." She goes, "Yeah, just put it back in the suit then," which he does. And then basically he has his bag out anyway, so he puts it onto the bed, next to his bed. He's like, "Well, we'll work on this while we're basically doing vigilante work and training." Just right. So, for the next, 10 months, Izuku has made a name as himself as Spider-Man. He has made the web shooters. He has all the gadgets from the Spider-Man PS4. And, well, he has gotten stronger. So, the thing is, though, we are going to, well, UA. She was, seriously, I don't see the point why you should be here. He goes, listen, as I explained already to you before, if we're here, we can technically keep an eye on who's basically the, well, gonna be like heroes that we're gonna have to get rid of the quirks, basically the corrupted. She's like, oh, alright. He goes, like we basically have been doing at, well, sometimes in the morning, well, in the afternoon as Spider-Man, I do then technically, use the Venom suit to, well, the Anti-Venom suit to then get rid of those quirks. He was like, oh yeah. Also, I forgot to mention he did get some of the people from his class, which was on the news, which Baku kind of shocked. So Aizawa has been looking for this creature that he called, which was anti-venom, which they had a sketchbook out. So yeah. So anyways, though, so he's like, anyways, Venom, we can't go after everyone. Basically, there'll be a pattern sooner or later. But to Spider-Man, it's gonna be easy. He's saying it's all in his head, by the way. Which Venom says, right. So, as then, what happens is, he gets into, UA. He takes the exam. He studied, so, he gets at least a 95. And then for the physical portion, agility plus strength and reflexes like Spider-Man, which he has taken karate classes and worked on his, actual getting stronger through working out and such. But he also worked on his flexibility and, well, reflexes on his own without relying on the suit. So, yeah. So basically, he improved himself a lot more. So, anyways, let's just go through this. We're kind of skipping the whole entire Ida thing. While President Mike, we're just gonna right to the doors open. Izuku dashes forward. Well, just runs in basically. As everyone saying, "Hey, that's cheating," and President Mike says, "That is not cheating. You don't." Basically, there's no countdown when there's a villain. You just go. As everyone's saying, "Shit!" So they all just run in. As Izuku basically is taking down robots very easily. He's basically actually grabbing one, throwing one into another robot, basically dodging one, basically, well, that came out of, the corner of his eye. He ducks underneath them, and then basically punches them, sending them back a little bit, as then they try to go after him, and he basically dodges, grabs one of their arms, puts his foot on it, rips it off, and then bashes his head in. As, basically, he's ranking up points pretty decent amount. Basically in 5 to 10 minutes, he has a good 75. He doesn't want to look too stand out. So, everyone is doing their best. The basically teachers are shocked, basically happy, but also shocked by how well they're doing. Especially this Izuku Midoriya. Basically, as Nezu says, so, Aizawa, is there anyone in particular you have, think they're good enough? And he goes, yeah, this is Izuku Midoriya kid. I don't know why, but I feel like he's holding back. But he's ranking up good enough points. It's pretty interesting. Which All Might goes oh, isn't that the boy that was ridiculed? Nezu says, yes, the media did take it too far. And, well, I looked into more of his history when he applied here, and it turned out he recently just got over cancer 10 months ago, which everyone was shocked, even All Might. It said it would have taken a long time to be cured. He had until he was 18 before he had to go into, extreme treatment. So, which I'm always thinking, oh my god. Was that the reason why he looked so weak? Which then, as I was how did this happen? How is he like this now? Which Neza just says, just said they basically went to the doctor one day for his checkup, and and he was cured. He must have worked out for this past 10 months, put himself through extreme training, just so he can get in here and prove the media wrong. Which, well, Aizawa says, I like this kid already. is he gonna be in my class? Which Nezu looks at the points. And he's like, oh, he's already at 120, and it's only been 20 minutes. Interesting. Do you think it's time? As Aizawa says, let's not send out the 0 pointer this year. I don't think it's necessary. Which Nezu goes like, oh, but I want to push the button. It's like, Nezu. He's like, all right. Well, we didn't even have the maintenance check yet, so it's a good idea we didn't. Yes, I am changing that. Araka's still gonna get in because, well, what of this? So basically, while Izuku is, well, going for like the, 1 pointers, 2 pointers, 3 pointers, he basically sees a girl, trying to do her best as then, well, basically, him is, well, not him, but her and Izuku hear someone screaming for help. As him and her go over to the, well, person in hell, as, well, basically, she's somehow, in some way, robot, basically, got robo on her as he says, hey, I don't know what your quirk is, but can you help me out? She's like, yeah. So she uses zero gravity as Zuko like lifts it and throws it over to the side, basically, as it, they gain like rescue points and such, which, as he was surprised by this. He's like, pushing the red button, as he goes like, what? No! As basically, well, Nezu presses the button. And so the 0 pointer comes out. I was just joking, of course we have the 0 pointer come out as well. Basically, as basically Zuko and Uraraka see the 0 pointer, he's like, okay, that thing, we're gonna have to run. She goes, yeah. So, while they're basically trying to run away, they just hear another person screaming at this guy, and it's a boy this time. He's like, ah. So basically, he sees some rubble. He's like, and he goes, wait, that's the rubble I threw. So basically, he kind of floats it, like, kind of like saying, is this still activated? She goes, right, it is. He kind of lifts it up as it starts floating. So he just jumps onto the rubble and jumps onto the platform when it gets flown up. And, well, then when it gets too near a joint, he basically jumps off of it, the rubble, puts his hand right where he could grab onto it, and then starts scaling the robot. In which everyone's kind of shocked, even Uraraka. And, well, basically, Izuku gets to an area where he can basically slip through a hole where then he can start ripping out wires, and he takes out the robot from the inside by ripping out wires that seem needed. So the robot finally stops before the person gets crushed. He gets out from basically the same area where he was. It was like the armpit area of the robot, and then he basically just like jumps. Well, basically he had to parkour, basically jump over to where he jumped from, and then go down that way. And it was near a window, so he basically jumped through the window from the arm, gets down, and helps out Araki saving the guy. And they basically get them to the medical ward. And so, Araka says thank you, he says there's no problem, happy to help, and he basically leaves. So, the teachers were impressed from both Araka and Izuku. And so, we then skip to 7 days later, Izuku gets in. All Might says he was impressed with Izuku's talent and ingenuity and quick thinking, and that he welcomes him to UA High School. Also, I did skip over something. Okay, so basically, while Izuku was walking out, I did forget to mention this, or I did forget to add this, because I don't want to make this like 30 minutes. So I'm gonna make this quick. Okay, so when Izuku was walking out, he meets Bakugo. Bakugo is like, Deku, I thought I told you not to come here. He's like, whatever, Bakugo. He's like, huh? What the? Why? He's, huh? Why you didn't call me Kachan? He's like, dude, I don't care for that nickname of yours. And I don't care calling you Kachan. We're not really friends. But we're just strangers. He's like, huh? He's like, look. You know what? I really don't care if I tell you this no more. But go talk to my mom. Ask her why Dad looks so weak and frail. And how I was able to like move a certain way to not get that damage from your punches or explosions. And you're gonna feel like really crappy, but I don't care. You didn't even ask me what was wrong with me. Something was wrong with me, and I had it all this time, and you didn't even care to even ask. So, yeah. So Izuku walks away from Bakugo, going a different way from home, taking like a long way because he's gonna eat something because he's starving. So Bakugo rushes all the way to, back to Izuku's place. When he gets there, he asks Inko what's wrong with Midoriya. Well, Izuku, as he doesn't say Deku in front of Inko. So she basically is like, "Oh, he didn't tell you? I thought you knew all this time." He's like, "No." He's like, "Figures he told me not to tell the school, but I had to, and he told me not to tell anyone when he was younger. So I guess he really didn't tell you." He's like, "Tell me what?" So she tells him to come in, and then she explains about the whole entire thing having cancer, and Bakugo feels like crap. He felt like crap, and then she also says, "Well, he's cured now, and his quirk awoken." And he goes, "Wait, quirk? But he's supposed to be quirkless." She then goes, "Oh, wait, did you not listen to him?" And he's like, "Huh?" It's like he was trying to say, even though he doesn't have a quirk right now, he's gonna have a quirk later on. It was dormant, which Bakugo realized he legit cut off Izuku before he can even say anything more. And he was like, "Oh shit, shit." So yeah, Bakugo then just tells Inko everything because he felt guilty, and Inko was upset, but well, basically said if he knew he had what he had, he would never have done it, and if he didn't cut him off, then he would have. Which Inko says, "It's the past is the past. We had to fix it on your own, Katsuki." Which he does look down and he nods. He gets up and he goes, "I'm sorry again." And he walks out in the apartment and walks all the way home. 30 minutes later, Izuku gets home, and then, well, she asks, "Why you didn't kill, Katsuki?" He's like, "Oh, Bakugo. Well, he cut me off when I was trying to tell him my quirk was dormant, and I didn't want him to feel bad. I wanted to see how he really reacted. So, he wasn't really a true friend. Anyways, I ate something like here. I won't be hungry for at least. Well, it's only like, and it was only like 3 hours before dinner. So, oh yeah, probably hungry." She's like, "Whatever. Are you gonna try to fix it with him?" He's like, "It's all up to him." Anyways, Mom, I'll be in my room. So yeah. So basically, he goes to his room, and then him and Venom just talk. So yeah, like I said, 3 days later, he gets a note, and all I says congratulations to him, and tell him he did a good job, and then tell him welcome to My Hero Academia, or should I say UA High School. Whew. Okay, so that's the end of this video. Tomorrow, or should I say later in the day, I've been watching Ruby, so I'm gonna try to make part 1 of Ruby of Izuku. What Izuku went to, well, actually summoned, but went to Ruby. Basically the TV show, basically. So Ruby universe, and so he's gonna stay there. He's never gonna come back to My Hero Academia, and I do have an idea of some things of his semblance. You'll see what it is, and I do have something else to give him a little bit of a boost to help him out, because there are some things that I think will work because his mother, telekinesis, his father, fire breathing. What do you think? Okay, so anyways, hope you guys though will enjoy that what if, because I'm gonna talk to my friend tomorrow about it. Well, basically my friend that lives nearby me. Yeah. Anyways, I'm done talking. Have a nice night, day, wherever you are, and yeah. Part 1 is gonna be probably episode 1, all the way to probably episode 10 or whatever I feel like. I'm gonna try to, see where I can stop. Bye, everyone.